Hello everybody, we're here today with Rufus John on MusicReach.
Hello, hello, hello.
We know you're coming out with a new album, Gone But Not Forgotten. It's being released June 21st at the Painted Lady. And that's with Indivisible is who you're performing, or he is opening for you?
Yes, it's a gentleman by the name of Sam Soga and his partner Maya. Sam is actually based, he's from Cambridge, and he moved out to Toronto to pursue his musical career. And I wanted to reach out because he was a part of my music, the Music Is My Weapon program that I do. And I wanted to reach out to be like, hey, Sam, I'm in Toronto. Here is an opportunity. And he was like, I'm on it. I got you. So it's going to be a great night.
That's great. Are you guys going to be performing together or separately?
Well, separately for sure. Together, you never know. The sky is the limit. Sam is pretty quick on his feet, so don't be surprised if you do see Sam and I on stage together.
That's great. And has he helped along with the album as well, producing-wise or anything like that?
No, Sam hasn't helped on this particular album with recording, but Sam has sung backups for me in the past. Him and I, and he's played for me as well live. So yeah.
Okay, a guitar player?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was watching actually a couple of your docuseries. If people don't know, Rufus has actually launched a docuseries online, and he releases an episode every Sunday. And that will continue on until his CD release on June 21st. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes.
And the people who helped with Gone But Not Forgotten, was that, I believe you mentioned Chris, Attila, and Darrell?
Yes. So producers is Chris Rouse, Darrell Clifton. I had Attila Toth, who's from Guelph. I had a gentleman by the name of Jerome Anderson, and I had local producer, songwriter Ian Smith.
Okay.
Produced and wrote Gone But Not Forgotten. Well, he co-produced.
Okay. Do you already have like the songs and bring that to them and kind of see what they hear type thing, or did you kind of just bring them all together and be like, listen, I have a few ideas here?
Okay, so my process generally is I'll have a theme in my mind, and that theme, well, actually, I should backtrack. All of my songs that I do, there's a story behind them. I write them because I have a personal connection with what it is that I am trying to convey. So I'll reflect on something, or I'm going through something, and I need to get to the music to help me go through it, or to help me make sense of what just happened. So, for example, with Gone But Not Forgotten, a friend had passed, and I needed to write about it, and I didn't know where to begin. I had to get through it, so I just grabbed a pen and a pad, and I just started writing. And generally that's how it starts. I have something that I need to get through, I write it down, and then I'll come up with a melody, or I'll hear like a string line or a guitar line, then I'll get the producer in on it, and then together we'll kind of build and mold the song into whatever you hear.
Well, that's so you like to more write and create more on things you can relate to personally.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. That must get difficult if you ever have to co-write with somebody, though, unless you guys have a similar experience.
Gone But Not Forgotten, believe it or not, was one of those songs where I knew I wanted to write it, and I knew I wanted Ian Smith to be a part of that process, but I've never sat with somebody to write with somebody. I've never done that before. Mm-hmm. So that was a bit of a challenge, but it was a great challenge because it was one of those things where you walk in and it's like, boom, let's get writing and let's get this song done now. And you just kind of got to get your thoughts on paper right there and then. As opposed to other songs, it might take me a while. It might take me a month to finish a song. It might take me 30 seconds because it's just spilling out. Yeah. But going through my process and not someone else's process, right? So, yeah.
And who is Michael Harris?
Michael Harris, yes. Michael Harris and I, when I first moved to Kitchener in 1990, I sang at the Humanities Theaters at the age of 10, and I met Michael there. And Michael also went to my church, and he was just the guy that sang. He was the guy that could sing. And years went by because he moved to the States and he went to school. Years later, he comes back, and I heard that he was back, and he connected with myself, and he was like, oh, we need to get together, do some writing. I was like, cool. So my last album, Growing Pains, he co-wrote Growing Pains. And then I connected with him again to write Don't Push Me, and he co-wrote Father, I Thank You.
Awesome.
On this next album.
So is that where a lot of your singing has come from? The church? Like, is that where you started learning how to sing and things like that?
Yes, at the age of 6, we used to go to this church in Toronto, and this church had a banging choir. Like, I love this choir. And our cousin was in the choir. And one day she came to our house because we lived up the street from the church. And she was just hearing me hum and ha. We had cassette tapes. For those of you who don't know what a cassette tape is, Google it. I put the cassette tape in, and I was just singing along. I was just humming along. And she turned to my mom. I'll never forget it. She was like, Rufus can sing. And that was literally the beginning. I remember it like vividly. It's like imprinted in my head. And from that day, I just practiced and practiced and practiced. That was age 6. And then age 10 was my first performance at the Humanities Theater.
Wow, that's amazing. And what age was that at? When was your first performance?
Age 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. So the music must run through your blood, because I know your sister also sings.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. My sister sings. My grandfather, he sang when he was alive. My mom, she's all right, but she's like the loudest singer in church. Yeah. So you can't miss it. Yeah.
Well, I know you named your backup band after your mama's cooking.
Yes. Mama's Kitchen. Growing up, my mom could cook, and so could my sister. But I wanted to give people, what I want to give people with my music is a place of escape, a place of nostalgia, a place of comfort, a place of love, a place of connection, all those things. And growing up, it was important for my mom that we all ate together. Even if she wasn't home because she had to work, the kids would come at supper time and eat at the table, and food was always good. And it was just a place where we could connect and just check in with each other for the day. And I remember that growing up. And even to this day, when I go to my mom's house, I'm not even hungry sometimes, and I still go to the kitchen to see what she has in the fridge, just in case she cooks something that I might put on the back burner for later. So my mom's kitchen growing up is a wonderful memory, and I want people to leave my show feeling that way.
Well, I think you've accomplished that, and I encourage you to keep on doing that, because you are an amazing artist and you've been an inspiration around town. So
thank you.
Keep going forward. You've done some amazing stuff, and something I really like about you, and some people might not know this, is you're very grounded to your roots. I still see you posting pictures with King's Court in the background, and the people around Kitchener-Waterloo will know that, but people beyond Kitchener-Waterloo need to know that as well. And it's kind of humbling to know that you take pride and you're proud of where you come from.
Absolutely. Another thing about this album is Gone But Not Forgotten has two meanings. First, one of the guys that I grew up with in King's Court, he passed away, so it's Gone But Not Forgotten about him. But it's also Gone But Not Forgotten in the sense that although I've left that neighborhood, and although I've grown into the person that I am, I'm still that guy that was sitting on my porch writing hooks. I'm still that guy that people can connect with. So I called it Gone But Not Forgotten because I haven't forgotten where I came from. Although I'm gone, I haven't forgotten. Yeah,
it's perfect, and you show that, and I respect you for that.
Thank you.
A few things that I actually picked up from the docuseries, it was, I think, the 4th episode. You were talking about your recording session, and there was a couple things that you needed to have at your recording session. One of them that kind of surprised me, you said, was ginger tea.
Yeah.
So where does that come from? Is it like a throat thing, or is it just something that connects with you?
It's like a ginger, lemon tea. It's in like a little bag, and in the bag is crystals. And people make fun of me all the time because they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, "This is life, okay?" And I take my little bag. Fun of me because I bring my kettle with me everywhere that I go when I sing, and it just coats my throat. It cleans out all my sinuses, and it just helps me. It could be a mind thing, but it's what I've been doing for years, and I'm gonna stick to it because I think it works.
Yeah, and even if it is a mind thing, right? It works.
Yeah.
So can't go wrong with that. We were chatting earlier, and you mentioned you had a daughter. So how do you feel like? Is it hard to manage doing gigs with having a family and picking up your daughter from school, stuff like that, you know?
I had this conversation in a meeting yesterday, and it was like, it's hard to juggle, but it's not hard to juggle. I think the thing is, it's different because it's just been my wife and I for so long that I just go out and do my thing, right? But now there's a third person involved that I'm like, okay, do I want to book this show or do I just want to stay home and hang out with Joelle? So it is challenging because it's different and it's new and it's something that I'm going through, and I don't know if I figured it out yet. But if I were to, you asked me if it was challenging, I would say at times it is challenging, because there are some opportunities that do come up that I would love to take advantage of, but you have to weigh in. Well, I was already away 2 weekends. Is it worth going a third weekend away from the family, or should I just let this go to be home with my daughter?
Yeah.
And it's that constant weighing back and forth. Kind of. So I'm trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Kind of get pulled from two sides, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So your new song that has just been released, Things That I Said, I hear there's a remix actually coming out this Tuesday coming up.
Yes. So Things That I Said, when I was in high school, I was dating someone and I think in reflecting, I was in love, but I didn't know what that was. I just knew that whatever she was making me feel, she was taking me away from my friends. You know what I mean? Like, those are the guys. I want to hang out with the guys. I want to hang out with the boys. But there was this other person that, it was a struggle. So we broke up, to say the least. And I never got a chance to apologize. So first of all, Things That I Said was my apology to her. But secondly, I wanted a female's perspective of that situation, because I feel that a lot of girls go through that they put everything into a relationship and the man doesn't give half as much as they put in. So I wanted definitely to get a female's perspective of that situation. So Phoenix came through and she slayed a verse, and I am so excited for people to hear it.
Nice. Well, you're going to have to send that to me when you release it so I can help push it on MusicReach and all our social networks. Absolutely. That'd be great. One other thing I want to mention was the rap or freestyle you threw in there.
Yeah.
That's not kind of come out of nowhere. Do you freestyle just on a whim, or do you kind of write out your raps? Or
I don't consider myself a rapper.
Okay.
What I go where the music takes me. Yeah. And for that particular section of the song, I felt that was needed. And I practiced the crap out of that verse to get it as best as I could, because I am not a rapper. But when the verse requires rap, like on my last project, The Reason is a song for my mom. My mom hates hip-hop music, but that song came out, it's a hip-hop song. And that's just the way that the spirit took me there, and that's where I went with it, and it's a great song. And with this verse, it's the same thing. I tried to sing it, and I was like, nope, it has to be a rap verse.
Yeah.
And yeah, voila.
I think you nailed it, because it came in. I was like, sweet, this is awesome. I wasn't expecting that at all. So putting that little surprise hook in there, it hooked me. So
thank you.
I know you got to get going because, again, family calls once in a while.
Yes. Yeah.
And I just want to make sure everyone knows to check out Rufus on June 21st. He's having a CD release party in Toronto at the Painted Lady, and that is with Indivisible. And also June 22nd, he's having another CD release party at Starlight Lounge in Waterloo. And that's with Connor Gaines, I believe, correct?
Connor Gaines and the Woolwich Project.
And the Woolwich Project. Awesome.
Yes.
And where can people buy tickets?
You guys have to come out. I'm so excited about this CD release party. The band is killer, and we're going to slay it. So definitely come out and enjoy some live music.
Awesome. And where can people find tickets in your music online?
On the Facebook, www.facebook.com/RufusJohnMusic. You can go to my website, www.rufusjohn.com, and you'll find everything there.
Perfect. And for anybody who wants, I'll post those links down below for you to click.
Awesome.
And hit up Rufus online if you need tickets to any of his CD release parties. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. Thank you so much, Rufus, for spending the time and answering a few of our questions. I'd love to get you back when that album drops, and maybe we could
absolutely.
chat a little
bit. You come out to the CD release party.
Awesome, man. June 22nd. Count me in.
Yes, sir.
All right. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Deuces.
I was wrong. The things I did, I know I can't take back. You were there for me, you had my back.